Hi, I'm Sal Kalura and I am a principal engineer at Cisco, and this video is going to cover UCS C-Series rack mount servers with UCSM single wire management. So what we're going to do today is connect a Nexus 2232 fabric extender to Fabric Interconnect A, connect a second one to Fabric Interconnect B, and then connect a VIC 1225 adapter in a C240 up to a Nexus 2232, allow the discovery to occur, and then apply a service profile to the C-Series. The connectivity is very simple. You take a single wire to each of the two sides, the A and the B side. Effectively, what the 2232 is an external rack mount version of the internal I/O module in a blade chassis, just popped out of the blade chassis and into a rack, and then the server connects like a blade would up to the 2232 using a 10 gig port. Then those 2232s are connected externally using twin ax cables or fiber optics up to the fabric interconnects. And so effectively, this is a replication of the internal architecture of our blade server chassis, our B series chassis, using rack mount servers. Customers have come to us in great numbers saying they want to use rack mount servers, but they want to manage them the same way. And this allows a C-Series rack mount server to be provisioned and managed the same way as a blade. Here's a physical picture of what the lab setup looks like. As you can see, it's a very clean setup. The C240 2U rack mount box has the two twin ax cables coming out of it. Those twin ax cables come in many lengths, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 10 meter. And then you could see the Nexus 2232 fabric extender in the middle. That's the gray box right here. And it has connections up to the fabric interconnect. You could have up to 8. In the lab, we only have 2. And then here's the 10 gig port coming from the server. And then here's the fabric interconnect with the 2 connections coming in from the 2232. So here we are in UCS Manager. And as you can see, in this particular lab setup, I actually have a couple of things going on here. I have a bunch of chassis that are in the system and added up, but here are the rack mounts. This is the area of importance here. So you notice that the fabric extender is listed here under the FEX category. We have FEX 1 and FEX 2, and those are, like I said, those are the external versions of what the internal version of the I/O module would be. So you could see that a chassis has 2 I/O modules. In this case, we have 2 FEXs. And if I were to open those up, you could see they have backplane ports and fabric ports, just like our internal ones do. So if I look at the fabric ports, those are the 2 ports that I had wired up as you saw in the picture. And then under backplane ports, I have the 32 ports that come on the box. So it's pretty straightforward. Backplane ports are the ports that the servers connect to, and fabric ports connect up to the fabric interconnect. So it's pretty straightforward, and all those are inventoried automatically when you connect them. If you go to the Equipment tab and you go to the Rack Server Discovery Policy, that is going to be set whether or not the servers are immediately discovered when they're connected, or whether you want to acknowledge that individually. The other one is, if the FEX here, you can see it's going to be discovered as long as there's 1 link. If there's any more than 1 link, then every FEX has to be acknowledged. So when you get here, you could say acknowledge FEX. In my case, I have 2, so you acknowledge the FEX, and then it goes about its business doing its inventory. In this case, you can see that each individual one has 2 power supplies and 3 fans. So this is the physical setup. All this is automatic. When you plug it in and you connect, they're automatically discovered and added. Any servers that are connected, again, are automatically discovered and inventoried according to the policy that you have set here under Global Policies. I have mine set to immediate, so as soon as I plug in a rack mount server, all of our servers leave the factory with the ability to be discovered through this VIC 1225. It's very important that you have the VIC 1225. If I were to click on a server, you could see the physical manifestation of what it is, and just like on a blade, I get all of the same information that I would through the Cisco Integrated Management Controller that's built onto the system. So if I click on Inventory and I click under Adapters, you could see that the adapter is, here's the part number for the VIC 1225. If I look on this particular motherboard, you can see just like on a blade, I have all the BIOS settings viewable from here, as well as the CMOS battery and the serial number of the individual blade. Same thing with server 2. In this case, it's the same model of server, C240M3. So it takes anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes for the discovery to happen. But once that happens, it's up and running, just like you would connect to any other server. And you can get all the same temperature and power information that you get on a rack mount. You can get on a blade, you get on a rack mount. So it's very much the same. Same thing holds true here. I can get statistics, all the environment statistics off of the FEXs as well. So the next obvious step in this case is to apply a service profile. So in this case, I already have a service profile assigned to one. So I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to clone this particular service profile. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say clone the service profile, and I'm going to call this we'll call this server test 2, and I'm going to put it in the root org and say OK. And now I have an unassociated service profile, as you would expect. But now when I go to change service profile association, I can say select an existing server, and now I have, as you can see, rack ID 1 is sitting there, and that is my rack mount server. So if I go down here, you can see all the chassis, but in this case, chassis and slot are actually left blank because it's a rack mount server. So I'm going to go ahead and select that one and say OK. And it's going to provision it just like a rack mount server.